Every continent on EarthMC has good and bad about them, and sometimes it takes a while to choose where to live, specifically the continent. Do you want the hustle and bustle of Europe, or the relaxation of South America? A lot of work goes into deciding. So today I'm going to go in depth on every continent, and at the end of the video I will decide which one I think is the overall best. Before this video starts, make sure you do subscribe. We are the biggest YouTube channel actively uploading EarthMC content, so if you're interested in EarthMC on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel. Europe is not for the faint of heart. The continent is the most chaotic out of all 6. If you're planning on living in Europe, you need to know a few things. You'll have no room to make a town, and when you do, it'll be claim blocked. You should have money prepared so that you can claim. That's really the major con of the continent. It has too many people. All the good town and nation names are taken too, so it doesn't really have that much of an incentive if you're a normal person. But there is a certain kind of person that will like the continent. Someone who wants to be part of worldwide politics. See, Europe is the easiest continent to make a nation and become part of global politics, without really trying that hard. There are a lot of people there, and it's very densely populated. Everyone lives on top of each other, so it's easy to meet new people and become a well-known player. It would also be a great spot to start a company. Types of geographical features include prairie, forest, arid plains, Rocky Mountains, snowy mountain, and tundra. Notable nations in this continent include Spain, Britain, France, Germany, SPQR, and Austria. Africa is a lot more relaxed as a whole, but with a few aspects of Europe. It has a lot of open land in the middle of the continent, as well as a desert, and it's a really good option if you want open land for a town, but don't want to be completely cut off from global politics. But mainly, there's a lot of untapped resources in Africa. Red and yellow sand, forests, and, well, more sand. This would be a great place to live if you want to make a trading town or nation, or just a nation based solely off the sand market. It's a great median between Europe and South America. Types of geographical features include desert, plains, and jungle. Notable nations include Nubia, ancient Egypt, Madagascar, Cape Coast, and Senegal. Asia has a lot of possibilities. It's the biggest continent in the world, and its amount of different landforms really explains that. There are a lot of areas in Asia, so we really have to go through all of them to sum it up as a continent. The Chinese area seems to be a bit crowded, though I'm not sure how peaceful these nations are. It's something to look out for. If you're thinking about Central Asia, you should be completely fine. Everywhere in India is empty, as well as Mongolia and the Himalayas. There just aren't many people here. Up in Russia, you should be decent. It's actually pretty densely populated for such a large area, but it'll be fine for a long time. The Middle East is getting more into the annoying areas. There are a lot of large nations here, like Israel and Persia, that you don't want to mess with. I think unless you want to join these nations, I'd stay out of the Middle East. Other than that, there's a lot of empty space in Asia to do what you want. It's a nice place. Types of geographical features include desert, Rocky Mountains, snowy mountain, jungle, prairie, tundra, and forest. Notable nations include SPQR, Israel, Persia, Japan, Indochina, and FAR. Australia has and always will be a wildcard. It's a wildcard of continent. There seems to be a noticeable increase in just weird towns and nations. They just don't look like normal nations you'll see on EarthMC. Now, if you don't want to do this, then this continent should be decent anyways. From what I can see, there aren't many nations, and the main part of Australia isn't too densely populated. I really think it could be the spot of the future on EarthMC. Like, it'll grow quickly in the future, so this would be a nice place to start a long-term nation. Types of geographical features include outback, desert, arid plains, mountains, and forest. Notable nations include Oceania, Oz, Outback, and Australia. South America is probably the least densely populated continent. If you don't want to be bothered, South America is your spot. It has an epic road system and great people, but there are a few problems that go along with this. South America doesn't have many good locations for towns. You basically have a jungle, some mountains, and a desert. So if you don't like any of those spots, you're out of luck with South America. It's also simply just too empty. You have to be really good at recruiting or your nation will die. At the moment, I would argue there's only really 2 nations in South America that aren't dead right now. This continent definitely has some issues, but I think at some point in the future, people will start moving here and it will become a little less dead. Types of geographical features include jungle, mountains, plains, arid plains, and desert. Notable nations include Argentina, Brazil, and Cordoba. North America is the continent I'm from, so I know the most about it. I know the ins and outs and the pros and cons of the continent. There's a lot of open space, but there's constant hostility. When you make a town or a nation in North America, there's no neutrality. You can't just sit there while wars go on all around you, so you have to make that choice. Pick one of the 2 sides and the constant wars going on. That's the only way to be safe. But once that's done, there's a lot to do. Now, I can say for certain that this continent has a lot of really dumb people in it, so if you want to be left alone, your best option is to just join a powerful nation and mind your own business. And don't talk to Quebec, because because you will regret it. Like, seriously, don't talk to them. Types of geographical features include forests, plains, deserts, rocky mountains, jungles, and tundra. There's also this lakeland type thing where about 30% of the ground is water. That area is located in the middle of Canada, if you're interested. Notable nations include Jefferson, Panama, New Jersey, Cascadia, Illinois, and Quebec. So now we're to the part of the video where I decide which continent I think is best on EarthMC. It was between two nations for me. I ruled out North America and Europe for being too crowded, and ruled out South America for not being crowded enough. I then ruled out Asia for just kind of being too boring. The area really had no pizzazz. It didn't seem like the right choice for the best continent on EarthMC. So that left us to two different continents, those being Asia and Australia. They both have pros and cons, but overall they're quite similar. They both have deserts, small mountains, and nice areas on the coast to make town. Africa has a jungle and Australia doesn't, but Australia is smaller. But at the end of the day, it came down to the politics. One of these spots is really just a bit more toxic community-wise than the other, and my focus on EarthMC is having fun. And I think I could have more fun in a spot that doesn't have raging political landscape, which is why I chose Australia to win. It's a developing area that isn't completely empty, but doesn't have enough nations for it to be annoying. It reminds me of North America 1 year ago, when it was significantly better than it is right now. It really just has everything you need from a continent. A desert, a forest, a nice plains by the coast, and well, lots of open coastline. That is something a lot of other nations are struggling with, but Australia just isn't. There's a lot of room to work with here. Thank you all very much for watching. If you made it this far, then join the Discord. It's 100% guaranteed to change your life. Now you may ask, in a good way or a bad way? Well, if you did ask that, please click off this video because we don't want you here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Gashgali, I hope you enjoyed it. Toothbrush.